Hey, Kent Crook here, and I'm today here with one of my new good friends. This is Mark. Mark, tell me a little. Mark, what's your last name?
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about you, Mark. What do you do?
What do I do? Well,
Besides look good. I mean, this guy dressed up in a suit and a nice tie. I mean,
There
one
we
of these
go.
days I'm going to get to that point.
I teach people financial literacy.
And I think a lot of people could probably use that.
Well, I think you're probably right. I personally feel the biggest problem in our country, besides both the Democrats and the Republicans being whacked out of their skulls, is a four-letter
Wait,
word.
hold on. No, what's that?
Debt.
Debt.
Okay.
And who likes four-letter words?
I hate that word, but unfortunately, it's a huge problem in our country.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
You know, let me ask you this question, Kent. How do you think most people would answer this question if we asked them? Are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement? Do you have some doubt?
Well, everybody has doubts, for sure.
And my response would be, if you asked that to me, I'd say, well, Kent, you're like most people. What if I could show you how to get out of debt in the next 9 years or so, give or take a year either way, including your mortgage and student loans, if you have any, without spending any more than you're currently spending? Could we get 20 minutes of your time to show you financial literacy?
Oh, for sure. So you mean I could get out of debt, even pay off my mortgage within around 9 years?
Most people, we can help them do that. Someone's got to have a job, be
Sure.
working.
Yes.
They can't be going down for the last, for the count.
Have another
drowning.
kid and make a little extra money, not that
Right,
way.
right, yeah.
Okay.
That's not going to happen. The average American has about $250,000 worth of debt. Okay, and
That's including their house.
of course,
So we're saying $200,000 maybe in a house, and then $50,000 in charge card debt. Right.
or a car,
Okay, right.
furniture, whatever.
Right.
Most people tell you, when you ask them, how do people tell you, you're going to get ahead and become debt-free or retire? They tell you, well, you got to save more money. Well, here are the real numbers. Americans have 34% of their money is going out the door in interest. They spend about 40% in taxes, and that's all taxes. Income tax, real estate tax, sales tax. If you drink beer, beer tax. If you smoke, cigarette tax. Everyone's got a cell phone. You go look at your bill. There's a federal tax for your cell phone, right?
Right.
And we live on 23%. We save about 3%. What we contend is that if you pay less interest, pay less taxes by default on the same amount of money, you're going to live a better lifestyle and save more money.
Right.
So that's what we talk about, financial literacy and how to help people.
Right. Now, I know you have a couple different platforms. You showed me that earlier. Tell me a little bit about, how people do it. How does it really work?
Okay. Well, what we work with people is, I can't help somebody unless I know a little bit about them. So if you were going to think about becoming a client, we would need some information from you. I would need numbers, but not your social security number, but I need to know your birthday. I need to know, do you own a house? How much is your mortgage? I don't care who it's with, but I need to know how much interest you're paying,
Right.
what your payment is, and how much you owe. Credit card debt, I don't care who it's with. You can put down credit card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. I just need to know the interest rate, how much you're paying, and how much you owe.
Right.
Student loan debt, same thing. Any debt. I don't need to know who it's with. I just need a classification, interest, payment, how much you owe.
Right.
And we kind of need a snapshot. I don't need to know to the penny, but I need to know about how much you make. And, are you saving money? Are you putting money into qualified plans? Things like that.
How much? What's the percentage of people you think are really saving money today?
Well, here's the thing, and it's a really good question. I always ask people this: do you have enough money that if you lost your job today, you can survive for a year? How many people do you think answered yes to that?
Maybe 2%.
Maybe.
Maybe, because I always heard it was like 3 months. So you have enough 3 months setting aside.
Okay,
Right?
so even
is
3
a-
months.
yeah.
Okay, so how many people do you think today could lose their income and survive for 3 months? What do you think the percentage would be?
20%.
Okay, so those people should be investing, okay? But if they're not investing, right,
But investing in what?
well, if you have a job, a lot of places, because pensions kind of went away in the mid-'80s in a lot of places, not every place, your workplace is going to offer you some type of qualified plan. right? A 401k,
Right,
if you
right.
work for a hospital or the school board, it's going to be a 403b, which is a 401k for a non-taxed entity, right?
Okay.
If you work for the government, the police department, the city, the state, it's called a 457 plan. But I don't believe people should be investing into those plans. Yes, they're going to get a match if they don't have enough money to live for just 3 months. Because when they go to take that money out, they're going to pay 10% penalty on that money.
Right.
So that's a big problem in America, is that people want to invest when they really should be saving.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. For sure.
So that's some of the things we talk about. But I'll give you a couple of people go, well, what do you call financial literacy, Mark? And let me run a couple of things by you.
Well, let me ask you, what's the percentage of people you think have financial literacy?
I think the people that I talk to, it's
10%.
I think it's between 5 and 10%.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And we'll just go over a couple of reasons why. Okay. Do you believe this, or have you been told this in your life by a CPA, a financial planner, someone you trust? It's good to have a mortgage because you get to write off the
Oh,
interest.
yeah. It's said all the time, right.
Okay. And you and I talk, so I'm not a mind reader. I know you're in about the 30% tax bracket.
Right.
Okay. So I would then say to you, Kent, I want to play a game with you. You give me $100, I'm going to turn around and give you back 30. How long would you play that game with me?
Not very long. It's not
Okay.
a game I want to play, right.
So let me ask you this question. Every $100 in interest you're paying to a mortgage lender, they're not even giving you back 30. All that happens is you get to write $30 off your adjusted gross income, and then you calculate your income taxes. How great is that? Not very good, is it?
Right. Wow.
And realize that was before the new tax law.
Right.
Now, with the standard deduction, if your standard deduction is met, no more deduction for mortgage interest, right?
Right.
So that's an example of what people not understanding how money really works.
Wow.
And we already touched on this one a little bit.
Right.
I think a large percentage of people in this country have qualified plans. Are they bad? I think they're good to a certain extent, but again, it becomes a question of who should be contributing and who should be saving.
Right.
And this is another example about financial literacy. I have a great business. I know we haven't met each other, but a couple last Wednesday, and so we really don't know each other. Here's how it would work. I want you to put in all the money. I want you to take all the risk. I want you to manage your business on a day-to-day basis, and then when you go to
That's like
sell
what
the
I'm doing
business,
now.
and then when you go to sell the business, I'm going to come back around and tell you how much I own. It's going to be realistically 10 to 40%. Do you want to go into business with me?
Wow.
And the answer is going to be no, right?
100%.
So people are putting money into a qualified plan. It's your money, right?
Right.
It's not if, it's when the market adjusts downward. Does the government say, let us make you whole? Absolutely not. If you're putting money into an IRA or a SEP, you may be managing your own money, right? And if not, you're paying someone professional to manage it anywhere from 50 basis points, a half a point to 2 points, whether they win or lose.
Right.
And if you've got a 401k or 403b or 457, or you own your own business, you could have a defined benefit or defined contribution plan, you could be getting a match of some sort. But again, interest is eating up the money. Because let's talk about this. Most people have a mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Agree?
For sure.
So I'm not that smart, but I do this enough that I have an example memorized. A $300,000 loan at 5% for 30 years, your principal and your interest payment is going to be $1,610 a month. Okay? If you paid that loan off for 30 years, you're going to end up paying almost $570-something thousand in interest. 90-something percent.
Right.
Think about this. First month on an amortization schedule, I'm paying $1,250 in interest on that $1,610. That's about 78%. But we all know mortgages are front-loaded, right?
Yep.
If I go out 10 years, I'm paying 63%.
Wow.
In the 20th year, it goes down to 38%. It's not until the 28th year that I go to 5.3%. So I want you to think about this. If you're putting money away into a qualified plan when you could be using it to hopefully pay your mortgage off sooner, right? The first 10 years, let's just say, it's costing you 60% in interest. It's really higher. Can you earn 60% on your money? Absolutely not.
Right.
And
No
this
way.
is
Uh-huh.
financial literacy.
Uh-huh.
Once you get yourself out of debt, then put the money into your qualified plan. You're going to be a lot happier because you're going to have a lot more money.
Nice. It's amazing. You know, it's funny because you just mentioned that we just met on Wednesday. How did we meet?
Well, we met at an event that I host at Seasons 52, the first Wednesday of every month, called Rockstar. Okay, and
Just Rockstar. No, Rockstar is something else.
it's,
It's called Rockstar.
it's
Okay.
called Rockstar Networking.
Okay. Very cool. And it's the first one event I've ever been. I don't even know how I found out about it. It was in Coral Gables. I thought it had something to do with the Coral Gables Chambers. It was in Coral. I just assumed that, whatever. And I was pretty impressed. It was a line getting in. The bar was full, and everybody had the little name tags on, and it was an oval name tag, so it was different than the normal name tags you see, which I like being different. And
Me too.
a full room. It was a full room. It was. How many people do you think? I think 40, 50 would do, I guess.
No, there was about 78 people.
Wow.
I mean, I know exactly
70
how many people
70
were there.
came to-
I hosted. There were 78 people there. Usually we get 40 to 50, and to be honest with you, I like it more when there's only 40 to 50
Right.
because it's more conducive to having
Okay.
conversations. I mean,
Right.
every time we do it at Seasons 52, it's always a great event.
Right,
I think
yeah,
a lot of
it's a nice
people
place.
like going to Seasons 52. We get a lot of people coming from downtown that live in Coral Gables, South Miami, Kendall, Pinecrest. So it's
Right.
like it's on the way home, or even people live in Coral Gables, so they are home.
Right.
And it's a
Right.
real convenient spot, and it's always a fun event. We got a lot of professionals
Right.
there.
How many people were there, you said? 72?
There were 78.
78, wow. And why do you think it was more this time than normal? What do you
Well,
think happened?
I don't know.
Right.
We didn't have the one in May. Maybe there was some pent-up demand from
Uh-huh.
May.
Right.
But I will tell you, do not come to Seasons 52 on July 3rd, which is the first Wednesday. We won't be there because 4th of July is the next day.
Okay.
Our next event will be August 7th.
Right. Right. Well, don't tell anybody, but was there a charge for that event?
There's no charge.
It's a free event.
It's a free event.
'Cause I snuck in the back door. I didn't have a name tag.
Yeah, I watched what you
The
did.
line was so long.
I
It's
saw
like,
what
you
you
know what?
did.
I came in. I went to the bar and everything. So you were watching.
Yeah.
Right. So who's this guy sneaking in the back? It wasn't that. It was just such a long line. I'm like, everybody's staying in line for what? 'Cause I thought it was a free event. So, but I'm glad I went. And I was watching you too. I saw you at the door there, and you were definitely the one that stood out in the crowd.
Yeah, well, that's why I do it. I mean, my whole philosophy is, as you know, I ask people, what can I do to help you succeed? And
Nice. I like that.
it
That could be your line.
always opens the door for us to, just have a conversation.
Uh-huh.
And that's all. I do the events strictly to have conversations with other professionals. And you were there. There's no one giving you a network marketing presentation or buy this or buy that. It's just,
Right. I was surprised. You didn't say nothing. I mean, you didn't get up and talk with, let's say. You didn't get up and say,
Right.
hey, thanks for coming. I appreciate you. I'm Billy Bob or whatever it was. You just happened to open the room up, let people come in and let them do themselves.
That's right, because
So
you missed it. If you had walked in the door, my assistant would have said, "This is Mark. He's hosting the event,"
Okay.
and I would ask you what you do, and then you would ask me what I do, and I would say I teach people financial literacy, or I might say I teach small businesses how to self-finance, or individuals how to get out of debt in 9 years or so, including their mortgage and their student loans,
Okay.
without spending any more than they're
Right.
currently spending.
Right.
So, obviously, it's a give and take.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I like helping people, though.
Yeah, for sure. And so do I. And that's, hey, Alan, grab me one of my books. It's on the bottom drawer, the right side. But it was funny because, and I apologize for not coming up and saying hello in the beginning. It's just, the crowd was really big, and I wasn't sure if I was going to stay or not stay. But what impressed me about your event is the book, that I actually wrote a book. And my book is, which I have one for you here. Let's see it. Here's the book right here. 7 Steps to Grow Your Business, Rockstar Networker. So I actually
Whoa.
wrote a book on networking. And Grant Miller, the community newspaper. Like 15 years ago, I was going into an event, and Grant comes up and he goes, "Kent, you're a professional networker." I go, "Who, me?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I want you to write an article in my newspaper." And I go, "In your newspaper?" I said, "I can't even spell." He goes, "No, don't, get a ghostwriter and write something, but never write about yourself." But he called me a professional networker. So I've been networking for 15 years, and I've built businesses off networking organizations. So you and I both know that people do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. And how else you get to know except having lunch or having a drink with somebody every now and then, right?
100% correct.
Yeah, for sure.
100% correct.
Right. So I was really impressed with your event. I was, and thank you for being here because I know we didn't really know each other, and like I do, I'm not afraid to ask. And I said, hey, why don't you come over and talk? And first, like, who's this guy? Didn't he snuck in the back door? Should I even give him the time of day? He didn't give me the time of day. But you're here today, and I appreciate it. And what's today? Today's Monday, so it wasn't even a week ago that we met.
That's right.
But I was impressed with you, and mostly about what you do. We live in that world that everybody's a taker, and I can see you're a giver. I can see that you give your time and energy, and you want to help people, and you've got a solution to a problem that most everybody has. It really does.
A very large percentage of people, I can't tell you how many people that you wouldn't think had debt, but I have clients that make $500,000 a year or more, and they may have been married one or two times, so they're supporting 2 or 3 families in that lifestyle that they're accustomed to. Or I just came back from Seattle, and I was talking to some folks out there that are going to be joining our team, and they said, yeah, this is perfect. Bellevue, what's in Bellevue? Microsoft, Amazon's going there. And they said, yeah, these people make $250, $300 a year, and they're all up to their eyeballs in debt because they're living the American dream.
Oh, yeah.
And people really have to get on board with getting out of debt, because if not, it's going to be a very unhappy, unattractive picture in the future.
It's funny because the more you make, the more you think you need to spend. And it's this, I know what they call it, where somebody who's not used to having money, you give them a couple $100, you put it in their pocket, it burns a hole in it. They got to go buy something. I may go spend this money because they're just not used to having money in their pocket.
You're 100% correct.
Right.
Happens a lot with professional athletes, where all of a sudden they're given millions of dollars and it's gone the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
Right. It's one of the things that it's funny because you mentioned early Dave Ramsey, and you said him, and I'd actually been through Dave Ramsey event, Entree Leadership. I was there, and I actually, believe it or not, I went through it twice. So why'd you go twice? Because I'm just an electrician. I'm not. That's why I'm a little slow. But what I do say is, I live very humbly in West Kendall. I don't need a big house in Pinecrest with a bunch of rooms I don't need. I don't like living anywhere near above what I can make because it gives me more money to give. I'm a giver, of not just my time but money as well when things are needed. So, I like living. So if things were to happen, we all know that we live in this world that goes up and down, and we've had 8 or 9 or 10 good years, and something's coming in the future. But it's not going to affect me one way or the other. I mean, because I don't live above my means. I mean, and even in my business, my electrical business there, I take a modest salary, and because when I make more money, I invest it in the company. I make it bigger. I grow it. So
Sure.
Instead of borrowing money to buy trucks, or the inventory, whatever, it's better to have that money to be able to do it. So many people don't do that. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to borrow money, and I'm going to do it, and it doesn't work. And then what? You're in trouble.
And even people that pay cash like you do, I always like that. I'll just run you through something. The average American buys 11 cars during their lifetime. Okay? And let's just take a $30,000 car and about $500 and change a month. So you're going to pay about $34,000 for that car. Okay?
Okay.
And every 5 years they buy a new car. So someone who's going to finance their cars is going to pay about $370 some odd thousand.
Never thought that. Okay, right.
Okay? And there's always people that, they go, Mark, I pay cash. I go, congratulations. You've spent $330,000. You saved 40 some odd $1,000 versus financing. He said, but if you did it my way, you would have spent $30,000 on the first car, and then 11 cars later or 55 years later, instead of having a 5-year-old car and nothing in the bank, whether you financed it or paid cash, you would have saved $40,000.
Right.
People that do it our way have $291,000 in their bank.
Wow.
And that's because we teach them financial literacy.
Awesome. And what was the name of your company?
My company is called Safe Harbour Financial Group.
Okay.
And we are certified teachers of the Your Family Bank system.
I like that. Very cool. How do people out there find you?
Well,
they hook up with me. I know where you are.
Right. They can call me. I have a toll-free number. It's 866-859-PLAN. That's 866-859-7526, because we're big believers in obviously planning.
Right.
Planning for the future, planning to get out of debt.
Right.
Not just, saying, okay, I'm going to get out of debt. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, I'm just going to start overpaying on my credit cards. But you're like a kitten typically with its tail running around because you really don't have a plan. You're just giving them more money.
Right.
And then you're going to spend more money on their credit card. I mean, it's funny you brought up Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's been very successful. You can't take that away from him. However, his methodology of telling people to cut up their credit cards, eat rice and beans for 6 or 7 years
Right.
doesn't really work
Isn't-
very well
isn't
in the real world.
Right,
It's not
right.
practical.
Right.
And so that's one of the areas we differ. So we
Right.
teach people how money really works.
Wow, fantastic. Well, Mark, thank you for coming out over here to my new office here in the Pinecrest area. Got out of West Kendall, got out of that traffic, and look forward to the next Rockstar event. And I think he's going to help me hook up with the Rockstar people because I might be having my own event. I'm going to have my own event for sure.
I think you should. Kendall needs one.
Does it?
Pinecrest can probably use one.
Ooh, Earl's. I could probably do it at Earl's.
There you go.
There you go.
But the best part about it is they negotiate everything for you. They have the relationship with the large restaurant chains. The reason they're using Seasons 52, obviously it's owned by Darden's, which is the largest, and as well as many other chains.
Right.
And it's an awesome,
For sure.
awesome deal.
And I think I'll definitely do it. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Thanks for coming out. Have a great day. See y'all later.
Bye.